Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pmbc meeting for October 27th. I will share the agenda here if I can figure out how to do that. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Gotta move it up some, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
There you
the first meeting is called to order, which we've done. The second order is the warrant. I'll bring that up in a minute here. I think this is it. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So we have 3 items on the warrant tonight. The first one is an invoice for Commodore building for the library, $593,310.27. Johnson and Roberts for the library, $27,851.04. And the Vertex Company for the library at $8,460 for a total of $629,621.31. The invoices are attached. I had sent that out to the committee previously. Are there any questions?
I'm good.
Do I have a roll call vote? Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. Bob Romley.
Okay, second?
Bartlett Harvey will second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Bob Romley, yes.
Cameron?
Timlin Rossius, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett, yes.
Brian?
Brian Pasquale, yes.
Steve Moore, yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much. And we'll go back to the agenda. Can you guys see my my screen?
No.
No.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Hang on. Let me do this. Can you see that?
Nope.
No.
Oh, there we
There we
go.
go.
There it is.
Okay, so the next item is to approve the meeting minutes from October 13th as amended. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at those. Any comments?
No.
Done.
Okay. Roll call vote motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from October 13th.
Bartlett makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Tamlin seconds. A roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Romley, yes.
Tamlin?
Timlin Rossius, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
And
Mhm.
Brian Pasquale, yes.
okay, thanks, Brian. And Steve Moore, yes. Motion passes. Library update. Brian, do you want to give us an update on that?
Sure. Thanks, Steve. We're coming down to the wire here on the library. We are continuing with punch list on the exterior. I've ordered a test for our concrete. There were some questions from our previous Pmbc meeting about the integrity of the concrete and the sidewalk. We're going to get a hammer test on that. They're continuing with some of the miscellaneous punch lists as Sam and his staff are starting to move in. There's always some of the little bugs that pop up that we need to have fixed. So we're going to have an all hands on deck meeting a week from today with Commodore, Griffin Electric, their lighting control sub, to make sure that everything is working for their ribbon cutting on Friday, next Friday. We had a good meeting on site today with the shelving contractor as well as the moving contractor. There was a little discrepancy on what was being brought over from the previous building into the new. I think we got that all ironed out, and optimistically, we should have everything fastened to the wall and shelving up by the end of the week, so that when Ed Mullins is back from, he's out of the office for the past few days, he'll be back on Monday, and optimistically, he's ready to issue his certificate of occupancy at that point. We also will be working with Johnson and Roberts at that walkthrough on Wednesday in order to acknowledge punch list and remind Commodore of any items that are still remaining, and whether or not we need to monetize the punch list with the requisition. So all in all, things are going well. Sam and his staff seem to be doing well, and we'll hope to see everyone next Friday when we're doing the ribbon cutting at that point. So,
Ryan, they had put something out that I think Mark was going to be there on Monday, and they were planning on opening on Tuesday. That's not the case.
that is not the case. So,
Because I heard that yesterday.
right, and I believe that's been updated since. I did speak with the trustees yesterday, Katrina and Mark, and I think due to the length of time it's taken to affix fixed shelving to the exterior walls, and the comment that Ed wants everything actually in place and installed before he issues his occupancy, I believe that pushed the schedule on the actual operation date. And according to Sam, the director today, he told me that he is focusing on opening operations the day of the ribbon cutting on Friday.
Budget-wise, how are we doing with that?
Good. So I'm updating that right now. I should have a updated budget for our next meeting. I can send that around to the PMBC as well as anyone else that's interested to show where we are. But our contingency will still look pretty healthy. We've had to pay for a few small things since our last meeting. We did install the VCT flooring in the lobbies and downstairs. I think that looks really nice.
Looks great.
Yep. We've also had to put in a few extra owner request items. We wanted some additional power and some additional data at the circulation desk. We also wanted to add some added protection at the, it's a metal gate that they close at the end of the night. We created a key system for that in order for, to kind of keep out people from playing with it. So, yeah, things are looking pretty good.
Brian, the questions I brought up to you today with regards to access and lighting control, things along this line, is this something appropriate for next Wednesday?
I believe, yes. So
Okay.
the contractors that have already either done the training or will be doing the training will be there at that point. So when I
guess
confirm with them, I'll touch base with you too.
Okay, good. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a mix between systems and policy, and I hadn't heard anything back from the trustees on what they were planning to do. So if I'm going to be alive, so to speak, I need to be able to work the building.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brian, what time are you guys getting together on Wednesday?
It's a 1 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, Rich Crowley and I went over on yesterday and took a quick walk around. A lot of work to do, obviously, but it looks great.
Yeah, and I think the weather has kind of deterred some people the past few days, but I know there's some work to be done on the exterior.
Right. Okay. Any questions on the library?
Are we going to have a completed building for opening, Brian? Or are they still going to have outside stuff to do?
In my opinion, I think that there'll still be some miscellaneous things that need to be done on the exterior that they'll need to schedule with myself and Sam to make sure it doesn't impede on any operations. But for the most part, there'll be discussions probably on next month's requisition about releasing of some retainage. They should be mostly done by then.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, as I mentioned in the previous email, there's a lot of exterior work still to be done, and you know, the weather's turning, so we
Yep.
need to focus on that.
Understood.
Anything else on the library?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Everyone coming on next Friday?
Yep,
Cool.
What time?
I was told 10 a.m.
10 o'clock. So the police station, Brian, you want to give us an update?
Sure. CBI just issued their preliminary punch list today. The waterproofing company is complete all the trim on the interior. CBI was satisfied with the installation and the insulation and the additional air barrier that was being installed in the window pockets. So that's been completed. The punch list has been issued for the roof cap and the exterior facade, knowing that they had to do some extra work. So hopefully by tomorrow, we will get a schedule from Leonard. I've stressed to him that a lot of this needs to get done within the next week or two because of the weather turning. So there's some minor sealant work that needs to be done on the exterior, but I'd say we were around 99% complete on that with a preliminary punch list issued. So there was a couple things that the chief wanted to see. He has some bird issues in the Sallyport area out back at the police station. So with the carpenters there, we were gonna kind of sketch something up in order to divert birds that he's having an issue with against the building. So I'll talk with you about that, Steve, if it's going to come with maybe a T&M slip on some added PVC trim that needed to go in that area in order to get the birds out of there. So
You wanted that one seam filled to
Yep.
Brian?
exactly.
So I was over there I think it was maybe on Monday.
Yep.
Carpenters had prefabricated the trim to go in, and they had just installed the trim in the chief's conference room.
Yep.
It looked great.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they're doing as far as prefabricating. Bob and I were out there, what was it, last week, Bob?
Yeah.
Watched them, prefabricating these, window trim pieces, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I got to say, they could have been a little more, they could have done the work a little quickly, but quality wise, I think we've really, we've lucked out with the contract. I think they've done a nice job.
I agree. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on the police station? So we'll move on to Houghton. Rich said he was going to be attending, but he's not here. So I'm going to just kind of fill in for him. We have to put because of the value of the project, we have to put it out for bid. We have had 2 bids in from 2 contractors that have done work in town, but it's around $50,000, 50 million. I'm thinking about my daytime job, $50,000, but it's just less than $50,000 for the both bids, and we have to put it out for bids. And in order to do that, we have to bring it before town meeting next spring for CPC funding. So we're going to have to get through the winter with the existing system, as I understand it. So Carolyn, has Rich reached out to you on that?
Yes, I did get some emails yesterday that was the way he was thinking of going. Do you know who's going to bring the project to CPC? Is that going to be the town, or will that be the society?
That's a good question, but it's going to come up on the town meeting in the spring. So,
But it's got to go through CPC first. I mean, we can mention it at the next CPC meeting is at the end of November.
okay,
So I can let everyone know so that they can start thinking about it, but it's got to clear there before it gets to town meeting.
exactly. Yep. So Rich and Joe Layden had a conversation about this on Monday, and I'm just not totally up to speed on it. So I think more to come on that.
Yeah, I got an email from Joe also, and he's out for a couple of days, so he and I are gonna get together next week too to discuss it.
Okay. Very good.
So what, can I just ask, like, was there anything ever set aside for, municipal projects that pop up for something like this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Steve, if the CPC funds are approved, we still have to wait for a town meeting on it too? Or,
Well, we have to bring this to town meeting next spring to appropriate CPC funds. So we really can't move forward on this until next spring.
So before we decided to do that, because it sounded like Rich just talked to Joe, this was an idea he just had this week. How was it gonna be funded before this? Or did we not know?
My understanding was that the Historic Society was going to pay for it, and then Rich came up with this CDC funding approach.
Okay.
I don't think they thought it was gonna be as expensive as that either.
Well, they didn't.
Hmm.
Rich thought it would be like 25,000 or less, but once he got the vendors in there and they looked at it and they understood that there were two different zones, like there's the upstairs zone, which has to be treated, or environment, which has to be treated differently than the downstairs environment. It became a two-system setup.
Yeah, I know, one of the vendors came yesterday. Rich was supposed to go to the meeting and he wasn't able to at the very last minute, so, but one of the vendors did talk to some of our folks and get some, answers, which was good, but now it sounds like we're kind of starting the process over again.
It's because of mass procurement
Okay.
requirements. Yeah.
So what we've done before with bids doesn't filter through and use those for what's coming up?
Well, it can. We can use those two quotes,
Okay.
but we still have to put it out for. We have to go through the process because it's over $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, over to the high school roof. Brian, you want to talk about that?
Sure, Steve. So as I reported last time, we have a proposal in from Nault Architects, who was kind of fed the report through Garland, the roofing contractor that did the initial assessment report for Steve Mark. So I have that in hand, but rather than just going to a contract with that, I kind of want to make sure that we're choosing the right roofing system and having a second opinion take a look at it. So I have Jim Russo from Russo Bar putting together a proposal, and I'm hoping to get a pricing proposal from him, and then at least some initial indication of what type of roofing material he would recommend anyway, so we can make a decision from there. Okay,
great. And we're going to have to go through the same process. We'll have to put it out for bid and take it to. We have the funding. We have 80,000. I'm 80,000 from previous town meeting. So okay, great. So you'll report back on that.
Yes. Yep. I hope by the next meeting I should have a second proposal in, and we can make a decision from there.
Okay, great. Okay, we move down to member input. Bob, anything?
I'm all set, Steve.
Tamlin?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Bartlett?
I'm all set, thanks.
Brian?
All set. Thank you, Steve.
I have one item which I'd like to share, and it is, where is it? Can I get that up here? So this is the, nothing to show, interesting.
It's nice looking.
Can you
Yeah.
see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. So I was over at the library yesterday and I took a picture of this. This is in the foyer. And, you know, it's a nice plaque. It recognizes the trustees at PMBC, library director, and the town administrator, architect, project manager, and contractor. So, you know, just thought I would share that with you. I did want to note that Joe Calentro was on the plaque, and I think that's fitting.
He was
So
around when the walls get started.
exactly. So I sent that to his son Scott today, and he he thanked me for it, and he said, you know, much appreciated, and so I thought that would be appropriate. So anyway, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Talon makes motion to adjourn. Second,
I'll second it.
Bartlett
Bartlett.
seconds. Okay, roll call vote. Bob,
Bob Rumley, yes.
Talon,
Timlin Rassius, yes.
Bartlett,
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Brian,
Brian Pasquale, yes.
and Steve, yes. And the motion carries. Thanks for your participation tonight, and have a good evening.